Normally, when you're making a map, you have to use something called the Hammer editor. For every source game normally comes with a editing kit, so you're able to make maps, but I recommend using this third-party thing called Hammer++. I've been using it. It has so many more features than the base Hammer, and if you don't use it, you're really missing out. So for this tutorial, I am going to tell you to get this,
whether you like it or not.
So I'm going to put a link in the description, but this is called Hammer++. If you click the download link, and obviously we're doing it for Garry's mod, so you want to click on Garry's mod. So that's it downloading now. I've already got it installed, but what you want to do is you want to go to Steam, find Garry's mod, right click on Garry's mod, go to Properties, go to Installed Files, then you want to click Size of Installation, then browse here in the top right hand corner, Bosh, go to Bin, let's open up the zip file. No, I don't want to buy WinRAR, no one does. Hammer++, you click on this, double click. Now you want to go into the bin, into this bin here, and you want to drag this folder over Win64, so it basically just goes into the bin section. Now if you go into Win64 and then Hammer++, it's right there. This is the exe you're going to use, and what I normally do is if you plan to map for multiple days, I select going to the taskbar, right clicking and clicking pin to taskbar, so it's there, so you can click on it and it's easy access. Now another thing I'm going to do is if you plan to make map other than just for Half-Life 2, and you want to do it for the Half-Life 2 Episode 2 models and props and sounds and things, and Counter-Strike Source, I'm also going to show you how to do that, how to mount it. I'm going to teach you how to do it for both. So if you go to your CFG folder, in Garry's mod, then CFG, you want to open up mount.cfg. If it doesn't exist, you can make it, and you can just you can copy it from the description. Now you see here I got Half-Life 2, EP2, and Counter-Strike or cstrike here. Okay. Now when you open up this folder, there will be slashes at the start of these lines here. You want to get rid of those and just keep it as like this. I will put it in the description, so if you have any trouble, let me know. For the Half-Life 2 content, we want to add HL2. So put HL2 in this one, and then it'll navigate to the folder. To do that, we need to go back onto Steam, type in Half-Life in our Steam library, Half-Life 2, right-click on Properties again, Install Files, Browse, Bosh. Now you see how it says HL2 here? You want to go into this folder, then go to the top here, click on this right piece here, so you copy the directory root, copy that, and then put it into here. Now, it does backslashes here, but I always put it forward slashes. I don't know, that's an OCD thing, but that's what I do. So now, that means Half-Life 2 is now connected to this Garry's mod mapping, so we can able to get Half-Life 2 props and such, and textures. So we're going to do this the same for EP2, which is Half-Life 2 Episode 2. So we go back 1, and then we see EP2 here. So we go into here and do that, and do the same. Then you put EP2 here, and then you just copy the directory there, and obviously you do this. And now we're also going to do for Counter-Strike Source and cstrike into here. So you want to copy that and put it into here. So it's simple as that really, and then you save and make sure there is these quotes here. So if there is any spaces, it doesn't cause a disaster. And we're going to make our first map. Now, I'm going to try and instill good habits into you, so this might be a way too dank, way too much information, but I want to show you how to do it the right way, so we can instill some good habits into you if you're planning to make loads of maps in the future. So you want to go up to File, and you want to click New, or Control N. So this is a new map. Currently it's not saved at the moment. I'm going to show you how to make your first floor. Now this is going to be sick. Alright, this is what we do, okay? You want to click on this left thing here. So it says block tool. It's almost like a white cube with a slight shadow on it. You want to click that. You want to go over to the current texture and click browse on the right hand side of your screen. And you want to type in the filter at the bottom. You want to type no draw. And you want to double click on the texture once you found it, once you type in filter. And you want to just place it on here. Now, these 4 views here, you got to understand them. So on the top left view, you got the camera. So this is like the 3D view of the world, basically, of the map you're going to make. If you press Z on your keyboard, you can activate the camera and you can look around. You know, it's lovely. Oh, it looks lovely. Beautiful. Alright, so that's how you navigate in. You can use WASD to move around. You can also use the scroll wheel to like zoom in and zoom out. So you can go woo, woo. So yeah, we'll get into that shortly. The right view is the top-down view. So almost think it's like, you know, you're playing like a top-down view game, and this is sort of the top view you would see. So if I placed my my floor here, You can see I'm moving it around. And this is the front view, and this is the side view. Now these are all going to come in handy. So you're basically, when you're mapping, you will be using all of these. And soon enough, once you get used to it, you'll be flying through this editor doing everything. But also you got to give yourself some time to get used to it. So as you can see here, now that I've selected the block tool and I've selected my outline of the floor I'm going to make, you can press enter. And that makes it. In these different views, you can select the selection tool, which is the wee arrow pointing up. You can select it. In these views here, you can select the item you want, but it's easier to just do it on the camera. Bosh. And now you can, while it's in that mode, you can sort of change it how you want. So you can move it, you can make it bigger, you can move it around by holding left click. You can make it thinner, you can make it bigger, you can actually change the width. So it's really thick. There's another thing you got to know. This is a very thick block. Like in terms of mapping, this is a thick block. Like that is thick. Look at that. So if you press Z, you're able to look around in your camera view using WASD. I tend to use lower values than this when it comes to mapping. These are too thick for my liking, but it's good for blocking out your maps to see what sort of final your map, so you're able to see what the final result will be. I'm going to lower the grid size. So if you come to the top left mapping screen, you can see there's a smaller grid, which is like a minus, and then a plus for bigger grid. Now we're going to make that smaller, so we're able to make more thinner blocks, and just like that, I've lowered it slightly, and you can see. Now when it comes to mapping, you got to keep your environments consistent throughout. Now you don't want to be going into a house where the walls are very thin to the point where it's like it's made out of cardboard. When it comes to mapping, you want a consistent value across the board, unless you're making different types of environments in the same place, which is fair enough to basically use this minus and plus to have bigger and smaller environments. So for now, I'm going to lower it by 1, and we'll keep it at that for now. So I made this 32 unit thick floor. You can see how thick it is here. So we can actually make it even by looking at these values at the top. 1280, and you can see here, oh, I'm a bit blind. There we go, so that's even on all sides now. Now that we made our floor out of no draw, now no draw is, as it says, no draw. You won't be able to see it in the game, but you will be able to stand on it, but you won't be able to see it. You won't see it, you look straight through it. So what we're going to do is, we're going to click on this thing that looks like a chef's hat, as I would describe it, and you're going to select it, and it should be on the info player start object on the right hand side here. You want to place it in your level. Now it will look like Gordon Freeman, which is interesting. And this is basically your spawn point. Now, if you're going to have a map for Garry's mod, it's good to have multiple spawn points, because you don't want everyone spawning in each other if it's multiple people. So we're going to put them in the air slightly, because you don't want them spawning in the floor. So we did that there. So we selected on them, and then we moved them up slightly. Bosh. What we're going to do is, because the floor is just literally nothing, we're going to texture the floor. So there's a tool here called Toggle Texture Application Tool. You want to click on that. It has a red top, blue side, and a green side. Click on that. Now in this window, you want to click on Browse, and we're going to type floor in the filter at the bottom, so you can see all the lovely floor textures we got here. Ooh, let's have a look. For now, I'm just going to make it this weird tile texture. Lovely. Right. Now we're just going to finish up our map, because right now if we played the map in its current state, it will be a nothing burger. First of all, we're going to select, this is the easiest way to select a texture, by the way. If you go to the texture application tool and left click on the side of the object that we just made, we can actually apply the current texture. So we're able to make the walls out of no draw, which is a good habit to have. What we're going to do here, we're going to make walls around here so it's a closed map, because right now the map is leaking to the ether, the never-ending world that is out there, which is bad, because there won't be any lighting in the level once we get used to the light. I'm going to make some walls here by using the block tool again, and obviously I'm adjusting it, so I'm thinking, okay, I can, while in the block application tool, you can adjust it as to how you like, and this is going to be 160 units. Actually, let's make it slightly higher, 192. So press enter, and I'm just going to do this for the rest of the walls real quick. And we're also going to make a roof. Now the easiest way for me to do this in this scenario is to hold left shift, left click, and then move it up 1, and then you notice there's actually 2 floors now. So I select the top floor, which I just duplicated. It's the easiest way to duplicate stuff. And I'm going to put no draw on the roof as well, so it's all closed in and nice and lovely. Now that we've got a roof, a floor, and a walls. Now this is a bare bones map as it comes, so we're going to quickly texture everything by going to the texture application tool and applying textures. Let's find a lovely texture to use here. Let's do this one. Alright, so the map is now closed in, as you can see on the camera view. Now it looks like it's full bright on the view. Here's how it gets interesting. We're going to add a light to our level, which is going to change everything, because right now it will look weird in the editor, or in the game. We're going to put down our, let's get the entity tool that looks like a chef's hat, place it down, go to the selection tool, with the arrow, double click on our entity, and we're going to type into the class light. And then click apply. Now what we're going to do is we're not going to change any values at the moment, and as you can see it's slightly in the floor, which is not ideal, so we're going to move it up and move it close to these golden Freemans here. So we're going to make the light here. Now you want to click on the light again, and you see the brightness option here. Now this is just the color of the light, these 3 different values here. But at the end, this is the brightness you want it. So I'm actually going to increase this from 200 to 500 because this room is literally nothing. It's just a nothing. It will be just darkness without this light. So a cool thing with Hammer++ is if you go up to this camera here, which says camera, and go down to lighting preview. Now you see it's slightly changed, but what we're going to do is we're going to bake the lighting in. You see where it says light WND? You want to click on that. So you have this wee window here. Now you fully bake the light. If you click full bake here, bosh. What the lighting might look like in game. Obviously in game it will look better, but this is pretty good for like an editor standard. So I think that light is a bit too bright for my liking. So I am going to decrease the lighting to back to 200 and see it made the immediate changes just like that. So it's beautiful. We're going to render our map. We're actually going to play our map. So if you come up to here, where it looks like, I don't know, like a controller or something next to the diamond looking thing. If you come up to the top of the screen here, run map, and you can see run BSP normal, run viz normal, run rad normal. And you want to click OK. Now this will render the maps. This might take some time depending how good your PC is. And it's going to launch up Hammer, launch up Garry's mod. And here we are in game, just like that. Our nice little room. As time goes on, I'm going to show you how to do everything. So I'm going to show you how to align these textures correctly because this doesn't look right. I'm going to show you how to get the ceiling done, how to make things look better in general for mapping. But hey, that's your first map. If you get good feedback from your friends, they're able to play your map, see if there's anything wrong with it gameplay wise, and you can try it out. Thanks for watching my first tutorial. If you want me to make certain tutorials on mapping, Hammer editor things, just let me know in the comments and we can get that sorted for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.